Hey, what's going on, guys? Bootster Gaming here, and today we're in X-Plane 10. This game is a flight simulator, and as you can see, we are in the wonderful Cessna 172. Now, I wanted just to make a video because personally, I've actually been flying this a lot. I've been using this kind of for training in a way, because I'm actually getting my license hopefully this summer. Now, as you can tell, my voice is it's awkward. I'm just getting recovered from a cold, so my voice gets a little crackly. It's because you know why. But we're flying the Cessna 172, and this plane is one of the most popular trainers. Actually, it is the most popular trainer for people getting their private pilot license, which is what you get first, or a recreational license if you're not old enough. But we're here at my local airport, CARP Airport. The ICAO is CYRP, if you want to know. And this looks pretty much, this is a scenery that I downloaded. That yellow building that you can see in front of me, that's basically the building that I'm going to be going into for training, and this is the hangar that they have. One problem with the scenery is, as you can tell, it makes the farmland around here kind of awkward and ugly. But as you can tell, that's actually not the real farmland. That's not the real scenery. The real scenery of this game looks like this. So that's just a downside of this scenery pack I downloaded, but it makes the airport look exactly like what it is. So what we're gonna do is kind of do it like we do in a training day. We take the plane, take off, we go out to the training area, we do stalls or whatever you're gonna do that day, and you do come back and go for a land. And that's about it. Okay, let's start this plane up. So what first you gotta do is you do your outside check, and of course you already did that already. You can't do this in this game. But I'm open the window because we're going to need that later. We're going to take the statics. Actually, it's kind of broken, so you can't really take the statics. Kind of awkward. But anyways, let's change the squawk code to 1200, and that is the squawk code for North America for standby VFR flight. And then what we're going to do first, and we can move that, which is pretty cool. We put the fuel selector on both. Beacon light on. Now I don't have the what's it called, checklist in front of me right now. It's just too much to mess around with, but I memorized most of it. We put the mixture up. We put the throttle down, cracked about ½ an inch big. It's a little glitchy, my throttle quadrant. Next, what we do, well, then we do beacon. We set this to both. Now, if it's a winter time or it's cold outside, you want to do something called pump. Now, or sorry, yeah, pump. Well, what this does is, or shots actually, it injects fuel into the engine so it can start quicker. Now, X-Plane doesn't really have seasons. If you look now, the temperature outside is 17 degrees. That's not the real temperature. This is just fake weather. So we don't need shots. If anything, we'll use one shot only. That will inject some fuel in there to help it start. Up next, first, make sure the fuel sector is on both. So that means it's feeding through both wings. Next, of course, what we do, since we're almost ready to start, is we yell clear. And what that does is make sure no one's in front of the prop so they don't get chopped up and ruin the airplane. Up next, we do is we turn on the battery, or the alternator, sorry. We can hear it slowly start spinning up. And then what we do is crank it up. I forgot to put my parking brake on. But yeah, engine started, and what we're going to do is we want to throttle down to about 1,000 RPM. Once we can do that, we will check the yellow pressure, green, and fuel sector is good. We turn this on, make sure the amperes are at least 0 or charging, and the suction is almost in the green. Now what we're going to do next is put the standby, and I usually put about 1 inch of mixture leaned out since we're on the ground. Doesn't really affect the performance too well, we don't want to waste too much fuel. And then of course now we do is nav lights, taxi lights. And we're basically ready to go. So I'm going to taxi out and meet you guys in the run-up area. Alright, now, so we are currently at the run-up area. And what this area is basically, there's a gravel strip right here that no one barely uses at the airport with the runway on the side here. And what we do is pour our nose into the wind. Well, today, there's no wind. It's calm. Because it's clear weather. What we do is we run up to 1,700 RPM. And we basically check our magnetos just to make sure they're working. If they're not working, and we don't fly. But I know it's gonna work, so it's gonna be a little quick. I'll just go to 1700. It starts fluctuating a little bit. There we go, about there. So let's go to left magneto. Drops just a little bit. Now there's a little glitch with this plane. If I try to go back to both magnetos, it'll just start engine. So just ignore that. It's just a little glitch with the airplane. Right magneto, perfect. Back to both. Now what we'll do now is check the carb heat, pull that out. Got a button for that. Barely need to drop, put it back in, we're good. Throw it back to 1000 RPM and back to normal. As you can see, based on so you're gonna hear a lot of actually jiggles like this, and it's gonna be kind of weird, but that's because the mic is sitting nearby. I'm using a yoke and stuff. So let's turn back around. As you can see, the frequency I'm using is 122.8, and that is the frequency of this airport. It's Unicom, actually. And what you would do is you basically announce that you're gonna take off and where you're gonna go. But since this is a single player right now, we aren't gonna do that. Runway is good. Winds come, so we're gonna take off runway 10, which is gonna be left. And where we're gonna go is towards the training area. So once we're good here, we're good to go. We go full power, and we actually do not need flaps. Here we go. 55, 60 knots. Went to 60 knots. We're gonna pull up. The volume a little bit down because it's hard to hear me sometimes. And what we're going to do is a climb at 79 knots. 79. Let's keep climbing. Try to lower the volume just a little bit. There we go. So you can hear me a little bit better because mic's a little bit far. So we keep climbing, 75 degrees, climbing at this this heading. We keep going all the way until we get, you know, about 4,000 feet towards the practice area. Alright, so we are now in the practice area-ish. Practice area is basically this lake here. It looks like a dick all the way to this-ish area. You know the practice area basically when you train actually in a pilot. And in this practice area, there is a different frequency. I don't know exactly what it is. Probably 127.45. It's not on any map. It's not on the internet. Basically, only the schools, what's it called? The schools that teach you, only the instructors and the air traffic controllers know. And what you basically do is you tell the air traffic controller that I'm heading up to the practice area. We will be climbing around 4,000, 5,000 between this area, and then say, okay, here's the frequency, and let you off. That's all we're basically doing right now. We're gonna keep climbing. I'm gonna level out now. Basically level out. Since we're almost at the practice area. Want to level up, we're going to do a few maneuvers. We're going to do a power off stall. We're going to do a power on stall. Those are fun in real life, and because you do spins. And we can do like slow flight, or we can do a steep turn. Those are basically basic maneuvers that you learn when you're flying a plane. Basically on the second or third day of training. Don't quote me on any of these, of course. So now we're leveled out at 4,500 feet above sea level. And now what we're going to do now is power off stall. So what we basically do is we power down a little bit. We keep trimming all the time. That keeps our plane nice and perfect so we don't keep choking on the throttle a lot, or the yoke a lot. Now we're going to pull a carb heat. If you know what carb heat is, basically, this is a carburetor engine, and if the engine basically lowers the RPM, you're going to get icing. Anyways, the carb heat just melts the ice. So once we're in the green arc here, we're going to do 1 notch of flaps. We're going to let ourselves slow down just a little bit more, keep slowing down. Once we're there, we're going to do another notch of flaps. We're going to keep trimming. We always want to keep a level. As you see, I'm just heading just a little bit. Just got to keep a level. Now another notch of flaps, full flaps. Now you want to keep pulling up until we're there. You can throttle off now. You pull back until it beeps and it drops. Now basically what you do is you full power and you level out. Now you just slowly deploy or slowly retract the flaps. One by one. And all the way out. That's basically a power off stall. It's kind of fun in real life. It feels like you're sinking. Scary feeling if you don't like planes or never flown with a plane before, but it's a fun feeling if you like planes or like it. Generally fun. Now what we're gonna do now is called a power on stall, and basically is you go full power and really high up and you spin. what this power on stall is basically doing is takeoff. On takeoff and you stall. And this is what happens. So we're going to throttle down just a little bit more. Make sure our carb heat is back in, because we don't need any more. Now what we're going to do is not deploy any flaps at all, because on takeoff you don't use flaps. So once we're here, we're going to throttle down quite a bit. We're going to keep our speed, and once we get to 60 knots, which is basically takeoff speed, we're going to pitch right up full power. So keep going, keep going. And once we're here, you can pitch up full power and keep going up. Basically until you stall. You'll see what happens when you stall. Keep going, keep going, keep pulling up. You're going to gain and lose a lot of altitude. Here we go. And we're going to spin to the right. We're going to power off so we can reduce the spin. Level it back out with a rudder and yoke as well sometimes. Level it back out. Then full power again. That was kind of bad. Very sloppy actually. Very bad actually. Let's do that again. Here we go. Throw all the way down. Basically keep ourselves level. We're going to keep going until we get about 60 knots. Takes a while to slow this plane down. This plane glides quite well. There we go. Once we're about there, we can pull up, go full power. I pulled that too early. Anyways, doesn't matter. Keep going up, 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 up. And once we get to about like 50 knots here, we're going to slow down quite a lot. Keep pulling up all the way on the yoke. And we're going to tip down. No power. Pull up. Then you can slowly add your power. That was a little bit better. Less jerking, all that crap. But basically, you want to do this in high altitudes. Because as you can see, if you don't do well in real life, your plane will actually go into a spin. And if you don't recover within like 3 spins, you're in deep trouble. So what we're going to do now is what we're going to call a steep bank. Basically go at around 50-degree angle bank. And it feels fun in real life. You just go whoosh really fast. Here we go. What we're going to do, I'm putting my feet on the rudder pedals again. We're about 60 degrees, full power. We want to keep it level. Now this may look fine in the simulator, but this is really steep in real life. For people who don't like flying, it's gonna feel like you're gonna it's gonna feel like you're falling out of the airplane. Gotta keep going. We're gonna go to the full 360. Now, if you want to know, and when you're flying commercial airlines, when you're going on vacation, those planes go about 15 degrees max. And if you feel like those are a lot, nothing compared to this. Alright guys, so I'm back here. So what we're going to do is land on runway 10. What we actually have to do is, as you see when I turn left here, we have to be at 1,400 feet. That's because the ground level, or sorry, the altitude that this airport is at is 400 feet. What we're going to do basically is we're going to go across the runway mid-field. So we'll go perpendicular on the runway. It's descending way too quickly. And what we're going to do is go fly over at 1,400 feet, which is pattern altitude. That's what it's called. Pattern altitude is always 1,000 feet above the ground. That's for single props. If you have like a beach cap Baron with turboprop or something like that, it is another 500 feet more. Right, so basically we keep flying this way. Once you get far enough out, what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn left. That's called midfield, or sorry, downwind. Sorry, we're turning left downwind because upwind, or the wind is actually going down the runway on 28. So this is pretty far enough. We're gonna turn left now downwind. Usually you would call this so people around you will know, but no one's around here, so yeah, whatever. Now, since it's a simulator, it's really hard to look around. You can only look around with the mouse. You can't really bend your head or anything. So we're going to use instruments to help us guide in. Basically what I'm going to do is going to fly down a heading of 28 because that's the opposite of heading 10. And since it's a little bit difficult to see for me, I'll usually look outside. We're about 45 degrees from the end of the runway to me. So what we're going to do is power down a little bit. We're going to put the carp on so we can keep our engine nice and warm. And then we're going to put 1 notch of flaps. And what we're going to do is we're going to start descending. We want to keep a speed of around 79 knots. And just keep descending. So now we're turning something called left base. Basically we keep going until it gets perpendicular with the runway, and then we turn on final. There we go. Now we're turning on base. Here we can deploy another set of flaps. Basically it's hard to see with one monitor. I usually use 3, but you can't really record with 3 very well, and my frames tank at that. It's about there, I'm gonna guess. And now we're gonna turn something called on final. It's pretty easy to remember that. Final. Final stretch. Home. So yeah, I turned a little bit early there. That wasn't very good, but it's hard to see. It's easier in real life, actually, sometimes to fly. Simulator is better if you have 3 monitors and something called track IR. Now, as you can see, you see those lights. Those lights help us guide in. When it's all, what we want is 2 red, 2 white. Right now it's 4 white, which means we're too high. That means we're going to lower the power. Believe it or not, power controls the height. Pitch controls the speed. So if I point down, I gain speed. If I lower the power, I'm going to decrease height. Now we're going to deploy full flaps because we're a little bit high. We can make the runway pretty easy if our engine just failed right now. That's what we call make the runway. So we made the runway already. Now, since we're in a prop plane, it doesn't really matter how high we are. It's just a base, or whatever it's called. It's just basically telling you this is a good height to land at. So once we're in, landing speed is around 60 knots, which is good because that's what we're at. We'll go here, pitch back to flare, throw all the way down, and keep going, pitch back. There we go, touchdown. Right on the center line. Put flaps up. Carburetor heat in, and we don't need much braking since the taxiway exit is quite far at the end. It's a long taxiway. There's only 2 taxiways connecting to this runway, and sadly the one that we need is way back there. It's gonna be a long taxi. Oh, what we can do actually, since no one is here, not that busy, what I actually tend to do with my when I went flying with my friend, turn the runway. It's perfectly legal. It's fine, and yeah, it's perfectly legal. You don't have to worry too much about it. Now we're gonna taxi back to what we were before, and that is basically the parking. As you can see, there's some hangars over there. That's for people who have their own plane. That's where they go. Hangars cost a lot of money. I know, since it snows here, people here want to install a little ledge on top of the roof. That costed $2 grand per person for a little edge of wood. I don't know. Everything in aviation is expensive. It's outrageous. So since we touched down, now we're taxiing too fast for the legal limit. No, it doesn't matter though. We're turning lane lights off, but we're gonna keep our taxi lights on. Turn right here. There we go. Taxiing back home. It's a small little airport. It's pretty fun. That's a gravel runway, even though it's not gravel. Actually, it probably is gravel in the simulator. But it's a fun little airport. A lot of planes fly here. It's very popular for the private pilots because our main international airport is busy. It's huge. It's not big, but it's busy. And sometimes the controllers send you out 10 miles out to come back into land. And with these little prop planes, that's not fun. We're gonna park back. Basically, got these the flying school here. Let's see how well I can do this. Parking next to that little, it's like a tail dragger Cessna. Here we go. Turn. Oh, a little rough braking. Nailed it. So I'm gonna I'm gonna raise the volume up a little bit so you can hear the engine cutting out sounds like. What we do in the engine cutout is basically we turn off the transmitter, turn off the avionics, we turn off the taxi light and the navigation light, but we keep the beacon on. We put our parking brake on. Now we can let go of the brakes. And what we do is we basically cut the throttle, or we cut the amount of fuel. There you go. This fuel's cut. Engine down. We can turn off the batteries and take out the key. Well, take out the keys. Open the window, or why not open the door? Basically, step outside. Hope you guys enjoy this little flight. Hope you guys enjoy this game. Let me know if you want to see like more, real flying simulators and basically doing training like pattern work and flights to a place, an area, a city. Let me know what you guys think. It's for people who are real. It's for people who are interested in aviation. So we hope you guys enjoy this video. I sure have fun making this. I love this flight simulator. And I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.